Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you guys a trying new makeup, but specifically affordable makeup from Shop Miss A. They reached out to me and asked if I wanted to try out their products, so thank you to them for sending out these products. They let me choose what I wanted to try out, and I wanted to do more of like a full face trying, you know, concealer, foundation, primers, their powders. They do carry a lot of different brands and everything is relatively very affordable. Everything starts off at $1. And I picked out the majority of the things. I only forgot 3 products, and in my defense, one of them wasn't that I forgot it. They didn't have the shades that I wanted. But I know I've been MIA. I have just things going on, and then my skin has been horrible. Very, very. You guys can see a lot of breakouts. So kind of have stayed off doing videos because of that, but I also always think that it's like the perfect time to try new complexion products because I want to see if it'll cover, you know, all the blemishes, all the acne, all of that. So I have my little tray right here of the products. So they carry their own line, which is called AOA, and that's specifically what I wanted to stay with and, you know, order just specifically those products from that brand. I did get something from a brand called Amuse, and like I said, they do have other brands, LA Girl, LA Colors, and a bunch other brands, but I wanted to specifically obviously try out their brand. I also picked up some of their brushes. So for the eye brushes, we will be using these, which look very, very fun, good. I can never have enough brushes. I love getting brushes anywhere. Affordable, my favorites. I also picked up a sponge so we can apply foundation with this. And this was, as you can see, $1.55. Got foundation, concealer. The foundation, I hope it's a goodish match because the concealer looks a little bit darker than the foundation, but we'll make it work. I did find powders, so it is from the AOA brand. And something I want to mention is that there are they do carry this paw kind of line, and that is products that are a little over $1, and that is because I have it right here so I can let you guys know. Part of the proceeds protect animals against abuse, so it's their Paw charity edition, and I have a few of those products like the sponge, the palette, the little quad. We have the foundation. So it has like an A+ little logo on the product, this right here, and this is part of the proceeds support children's education. So those 2 charities they have, and those specific products are like $1.88, $1.50, as you guys can see. So that's really nice that they have that charity and part of the proceeds go to those charities. So I also picked up 3 lip colors, which I'm excited for. I did get a lip gloss, but honestly, I'm more excited for the liquid lipstick, specifically this color. You guys know I'm obsessed with these colors. Brow products, a little brow pomade, and the little brush that has an eyebrow brush, so we'll be using that. Glitter adhesive, I wanted to use it for these pigments, so I just got a little quad. They do have more, but that's the one that caught my attention because I was like, okay, let's see how this works for $1.55. And this is cruelty-free and vegan. I think the majority of their products are cruelty-free. Yep. All of them have the little logo that they are cruelty-free. Like this powder was $1. And then these are the pigments that I want to play with. Honestly, I am leaning more towards this one. Do you guys just see that color and the reflectiveness? I'm excited. So if you guys are interested in seeing how these products work, then let's just get right into it. Alright guys, we're going to start off with the primer, and I'm going to go in with the hydrating primer, which had a really nice fresh scent in my opinion, and it felt really refreshing and like just hydrating on the skin. This one's a primer that I would definitely continue to use. Next, I'm going in with a pore filling primer, and this one's like a silicone type of primer, which honestly I didn't feel like it filled in a lot of my pores, but when I did my foundation and everything, I feel like it made a difference compared to if I wouldn't have applied it. So I will continue to use it here and there, but it's not my favorite pore filling primer. But for $1, I mean, can't beat it. Now the foundation, which honestly at first I thought the color was going to be a bit too light, was actually perfect, and I have continued to use this foundation. Not gonna lie, I have really fallen in love with the foundation because it feels so lightweight on the skin, but it has really good coverage, and I'm one who loves a full coverage look. I don't mind when foundations are cakey, but I would obviously prefer for them not to look cakey, and this one is definitely a good one. I really like it, and again, for like $1.88, you cannot beat it. The sponge also blends everything beautifully. Now, moving on to the concealer, I did go in and apply it to my hand and then grab the concealer from there, which was fine. And as you guys can see, it does give me like a bright under eye look, but I felt like I was kind of missing the coverage look. I felt like the more I blended it, it didn't look like I had any coverage, which I didn't like. So I went in and I applied more directly onto the skin, and I feel like more is better with this concealer because even though I applied more, it didn't feel heavy. It also did increase in my under eye lines, which always happens with any other concealer. This one I had the chance to do bronzer and all that and then powder my face, and it didn't crease. So I was very surprised with that about the concealer, and I really ended up liking it. Now the bronzer, Wet n Wild cream bronzer contour stick, I always use this. I love using it with this elf brush, which is, they made it for the poreless putties or the putty primers that they carry, but I think it's an amazing brush for blending my contour, my cream contour. Now from the AOA Shop Miss A brushes, I decided to take this one, and it's the only brush that I have used now to blend my nose contour, and I love it. Now going in with the powder, which honestly I ended up liking this powder a lot because it is very like finely milled, very light on the skin, but it sets the makeup beautifully, and I feel like it added to give that, you know, flawless kind of blurred look. So I really like that about the powder. It is very, again, lightweight on the skin, and I felt like it kept my makeup matte. So I did get the translucent one. I got one with color, but I normally always stick to translucent matte powders, and this one is really nice, especially on the skin. It just gives that kind of like flawless blurred look, so I really like that. Now going in with the bronzer from Wet n Wild, this is their powder bronzer. I really like this one. I haven't used it in a while, but I wanted to keep on the affordable side of the spectrum and decided to reach, I think this is the most affordable powder bronzer that I have, so that's why I chose this one. Really like it. The color I feel like looks really nice on my skin, and it's one that I've used for a long time. Now moving on to blush, this is the only other brand that I got, which is Amuse, and again they carry a bunch of different brands, but this one was the blush that caught my attention the most because I wanted something peachy, and this is kind of like golden peachy. I did go a little heavy-handed with it, but then I just like to go in with my powder brush and blend everything out, and I feel like it looks really pretty. Now moving on to eyebrows. I know these products are black, and that was my mistake, but at the end of the day I feel like it is perfect because I'm going to re-dye my hair. I know you guys can see that it looks very reddish brown right now, has maybe a hint of purple, but I like to dye my hair black, and I'm definitely going to do that soon because my hair needs it. And these colors are perfect for when my hair is black. I actually don't mind having very harsh dark brows. I know it's not for everyone, and that's okay, and it might not look good to you, but it's how I like my brows. So the pomade is really nice and creamy, but it gives you like enough time to blend it out, move it around before it starts drying down. And then the pencil, I do like it, but I feel like I needed to pick up a more thin pencil because I like to outline the shape that I want for my brows and then fill in with a pomade. But nonetheless, the pencil worked good for what, you know, I did outline the bottom and fill in and make it the brows a little bit darker here and there. So overall, I mean, for $1, both of the brow products, they're actually really good, and I ended up liking them. Definitely have continued to use them to do my brows. I use a concealer to clean up my brows, and I actually like using this concealer because since it is lightweight and it's like a light coverage concealer, I feel like it just helps me clean perfectly what I need and not look too like I applied too much concealer. So I ended up liking that as well to clean up my brows. And that's the brow look. Moving on to the eyeshadow. I know this is such a little palette and I could have probably chosen something else, but I wanted something simple, and this was perfect because I did want to use those pigments that I got. Now I just am going in with something simple in the crease, just adding some color, a little dimension, so I can prep the lid for my pigment. I decided to use these matte shades from this little palette. It's a tiny palette that honestly I would use as like an everyday, whenever I want to get ready quick, just want to throw a little something in the crease. It's a palette that I would use definitely. I really ended up liking it. I mean, the quality is good. It's not like, oh my gosh, these eyeshadows are life-changing, but the quality is good for $1.55. Like, come on. It gave good pigment. It's not extremely powdery. Doesn't have a lot of crazy fallout, which honestly I was surprised. Moving on to the pigment, which was what I was most excited for. This color is just so stunning. It's kind of like, it has a shift of like purple, pink, and then kind of like gold and peach at the same time. I don't know. I really liked it. So I wanted to go in with the finger first, just dry, bare pigment, and see how it applied. It applied nicely, but I definitely wanted to be more of a pop, you know, have a little more, I don't know, make it a little extra. And I decided to use the glitter base. It's a primer and a glitter primer base. So I would probably try this again on my bare eyes without any powder underneath, because obviously that was going to play a big role in it working or not. It did work, but not necessarily how I wanted it to, so I will just try it again and let you guys know. And then over the primer, I decided to apply the product with a brush, which I still didn't feel like it, you know, made it pop. So I just wet my brush and applied more. I also went back in with my finger and it just, you know, made it pop. So it ended up working out. I thought the look, it turned out really, really pretty with the pigment. So you guys can see I definitely packed it on so that it could pop a little more. And I'm adding a little more color to the crease just to give a little dimension and finishing up the look, blending everything out, applying color in the lower lash line, you know, just so it won't be so bare. Then I went ahead and added mascara and my eyeliner. I haven't used eyeliner in ages. I also didn't get one from Shop Miss A because again I haven't used it in ages and I forgot, but I felt for this look it needed a little something extra, so I went ahead and use my Maybelline liner, which is my favorite one at the moment, also from the drugstore. And that's basically the look. I popped on the lashes and we're moving on to lips. All right, guys, this is a final look. What did you guys think of the tutorial? Honestly, I am a little shook with all the products because they all work good. For being my first impressions, I feel like it was a really, really good first impressions of all these products. The only thing I will say is the last product I applied, which is this liquid lipstick, and it's the AOA Studio Wonder Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Drama, which I am totally obsessed with the color. Like, obsessed. This is my absolute favorite color in liquid lipsticks and like eyeshadows. I just love this color, which is why I chose it. It is a bit patchy, and it is a color that you have to layer, and between each layer you do have to let it dry down. So I would say I did about 3 layers of the color, and then I drank some water and I had some pretzels, and it kind of had like not crumbled, but like faded away from the center. But it was obvious. It's not like a fade like with other liquid lipsticks where it just fades and you just have like a wash of color on your lips left. No, this was like pretty obvious, you know, like that rim that you get. So for me, honestly, I don't mind it because for a picture, the color is perfect. It's only $1 and the color is just, it's everything to me. I wouldn't mind carrying this around with me and reapplying every time I needed to, but I know once you start reapplying, it's going to get thicker, and it will eventually start crumbling, you know, off the lips. But other than that, honestly, that's the only like if and or but that I had with any of the products. So the other 2 liquid lipsticks, I will show you guys the swatches right here. We have the color, what is this? Vintage, which is like this really pretty, it looks like a mulberry pink in my opinion. And then we have this one right here, which is kind of like a blood red, and that is Sugar. And again, you guys can see it's kind of patchy in the swatch. So you could also do like a lip liner all over the lips, fill in your lips with the lip liner, and then just do 1 coat of the liquid lipsticks, and I feel like it will be perfect. What else? Okay, the foundation. I was honestly shook. You guys saw all the redness. You guys saw all the pimples, imperfections, discoloration on my skin. And you can't look at my skin and tell me that it doesn't look like I'm wearing any other foundation that I typically wear, like my high-end foundations or drugstore foundations. These are obviously affordable products, and drugstore are affordable, but this is definitely way more affordable. They're starting at $1. So honestly, I was very impressed with the foundation, the coverage, how it applies, and definitely the sponge is the star of these products. I thought it was going to be very stiff and not like bouncy, but it's actually a lot more bouncy than I expected. Super soft, and I feel like it blended everything in so nicely. The powder, the foundation, the concealer, it just blended everything so beautifully on the skin. I definitely, you guys need to stock up. If you want an affordable, like a truly affordable sponge, you cannot beat $1.55 for a really good sponge. And the powder, I really ended up liking it. It's very lightweight on the skin, but it like sets everything beautifully, and I feel like I don't need a lot, so my face doesn't look cakey or too heavy. It doesn't feel cakey or heavy either, so this was a hit as well. I feel like everything, overall I liked all the products. The concealer was the one that at the beginning when I first applied it, I thought I didn't like it as much, but once I applied it directly onto my skin and I applied a little bit more, then I liked it. I also really liked that it didn't crease. I got to blend everything, set my makeup, and it hadn't creased on my lids or on my under eyes. And that usually happens with concealers, which I don't mind, but I was pretty surprised that it didn't do that. I got the shade Buff, and I would say it's a not light, but medium coverage. So if you apply more, you can definitely build it up to be a full coverage concealer, but it's not cakey or heavy. So I really did like that. The primers, the pore one, I don't feel like my skin looks like super, you know, like blurred on the pores. If I get close, you guys can see. But I feel like it doesn't look as bad as if I wasn't wearing a pore filling primer. So, I mean, would I continue to use it? Probably. This one, on the other hand, I really like the Aqua Hydrating Face Primer. It is very hydrating. It feels cooling and refreshing on the skin, which I always like with primers. And you guys know I always combine 2 primers, a pore filling and a hydrating one. This is definitely going to be in my everyday routine. The eyeshadows, they're so cute. They work good. I mean, they're not like super crazy, you know, it's not a crazy colorful palette, but it's something that I would use on the daily because it's just such a cute little practical palette, and I just want to show you guys the size reference. This is a Wet n Wild bronzer, and this is a little palette. So yeah, it does have, you know, just 4 shades, but that's why I wanted to pick up the pigments, because I wanted to try them out. And this one that I have right here swatched on my hand is the other color that I didn't use, which I kind of now want to use. It's like a green, brown, reddish color. You move it and it looks like, I don't know, it's just beautiful. This is the color Spell. And then the one I applied on my lids is this beauty right here, which I love, and this is the color Enchant. So these are really nice. The tacky base, it's a glitter eye primer. I feel like I'm going to try this out with glitter. I didn't so much like it with the pigment. I mean, it was okay, but I feel like I want to really see if it'll hold glitter, because that's what it feels more like to use it with glitter, not just like a pigment. And lastly, the eyebrow products. I really like them. I know they look super dark. I know my eyebrows are black. Yes. I usually dye my hair black, and I know it looks dark right now, like a dark chocolate brown. I usually have black hair, but I picked this black amethyst box dye. I know, don't come for me for the box dye. It's just my choice. But it got really purple up here and dark down here, but it faded right away. So now I'm left with like this reddish brown top part of my hair, so I need to dye that black ASAP. But I really like the brow products, even though they are super dark. And I know right now you guys can see right here the difference. My brows actually look black and my hair looks like super red brown. I like them. I will continue to use them. I love brow pomades. I love pencils like this. I got the darkest shades because with other brands, I feel like once you get like a dark shade, it's still like super brown. And these weren't. But that's okay. I like them. Overall, I really liked all the products. Thank you to Shop Misela for sending over these products so I can try them out and share them with you guys. The last thing I want to mention is that I'm going to Dollar Tree to get more of these lashes. I thought they weren't going to look good on me. I thought they were going to be way too big. You guys know I have small eyes. I always tell you know, my eyes are small, and with dramatic or long lashes, they tend to look smaller. And I feel like it doesn't look like that with these. Like, it just looks like normal lashes, but they're long and they definitely give a little more than like Ardell Wispies that I would always wear. So I need to pick more of these up. I really like these, and I found them at the Dollar Tree. So it's the XL Wispy Full Dramatic from the Ioni brand. So I hope I can find more of this style because I actually really like them. And that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for all your support. And like always, I will see you all in my next one. Bye!